Let's call this meeting May the 10th. June. Well, it says May the 10th on our agenda.
Let's correct that on
He's
that.
out.
Just to see if you were paying attention.
Did it say May there?
It does say May.
Mine says June.
It says May.
It says May on ours. But anyway, it is June the 10th. We're not a month behind. And we're here to have a workshop here at the Police Department headquarters. And the first action item that we're going to hear from staff about is the adoption of our proposed fiscal year 21 budget. We've had our first reading and this is the second reading. So are there any questions or comments related to the proposed budget? Hearing none, I entertain a motion to adopt ordinance 20-018.
So moved.
Second.
Motion a second. Call the roll. Right.
Vice Mayor Skels Harris.
Aye.
Mr. LaLance.
Aye.
Mr. Martin.
Aye.
Mr. Shacklet.
Aye.
Mr. Smotherman.
Aye.
Mr. Wade.
All right. Secondly, we need to approve, have a motion on ordinance 20-019, which is the fiscal year tax rate ordinance. Do I hear a motion to approve that?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. Call the roll, Ms. Wright.
Vice Mayor Skels Harris.
Aye.
Mr. LaLance.
Aye.
Mr. Martin.
Aye.
Mr. Shacklet.
Aye.
Mr. Smotherman.
Aye.
Mr. Wade.
Aye.
All right. Our next consideration is an amendment to the contract for the City Hall garage camera. I guess who's going to do that report?
Chris is going to do that.
Chris.
Yep.
Mr. Lilly, thank you.
Guess it's still morning. Good morning, Council.
Morning.
Chris.
City accepted a competitive bid from Twins Technology in April of 2019 to install security cameras in the City Hall garage. The original invitation to bid, and it was Section 4.8, provided for automatic one-year renewals up to 5 years. This provision was inadvertently left out of the contract. So IT is recommending, there's a recommendation of IT to approve Amendment 3 to add appropriate contract renewal language.
Are there any questions from council? Entertain a motion to approve the amendment 3.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Call the roll, Ms. Wright.
Vice Mayor Skels Harris.
Aye.
Mr. LaLance.
Aye.
Mr. Martin.
Aye.
Mr. Shacklet.
Aye.
Mr. Smotherman.
Aye.
Mr. Wade.
Aye.
All right. Workshop items, budget and financials update, and the April dashboard. Erin, I guess that's you.
Yes, sir. Y'all have the April dashboard presented today, and I'm not going to go over the individual information, but if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer those now, or you can also email me any questions if you have those later.
Questions or comments?
I'll remind council that our dashboard gets updated. It's a couple months behind, so we still haven't seen the effects really of what our shutdown did to our economy. So we'll still wait for those to come in over the next couple months.
No questions or comments? I'll move on to the next item. Reconsider the sewer basin 10A, 3 and 4 density restrictions. I guess that's Mr. Gold.
Councilman Shacklet,
Yes.
if you don't mind, I have a comment to make before
Okay.
we get into that.
If you want to wait for Shane, can we?
Should we wait for Shane?
Guys, but
I'll push on unless staff thinks we should wait.
you want? Okay.
Would you prefer we wait?
No, well, I'm.
May affect
For your-
the vote, I think is.
That's what I was trying. I mean, in case it does, I think we.
Is Shane
maybe-
coming?
He's still planning. He's still waiting it out in the doctor's office.
Okay, don't worry about them. Just go ahead.
I'll press on
Let's go ahead
and
and
we
vote
need to
if we need
revisit.
to.
I just wanted to kind of, I guess, clarify something. I made the motion to approve, I guess, on June 4th in this basin to accept staff's recommendation as well as some grandfathering associated with that. And despite Mr. Gore's best efforts to educate me, the spirit of what I was trying to accomplish really didn't get accomplished, which was, I felt like, and I think I made this comment, that I could more closely get in a place where we weren't allowing any new access to that basin than I could necessarily accepting staff's recommendation. But I was comfortable with staff's recommendation, understanding, the limitations of occasional rain events that would cause certain things to happen. And we had some discussion related to grandfathering in that, and that didn't necessarily, I don't think I was as clear as I had intended to be about that. So I'd like to make the motion that we reconsider that and listen to Mr. Gore's presentation on that and then have another vote on it.
Okay.
If everybody is understanding of that, what would be, and I guess this might be a question for Adam, what would be so basically the motion was made that would include grandfathering, and I think where this is headed is just that I think your intent is to just remove the grandfathering language out of that first motion. Does that mean we need to just get rid of the whole first one, or can we just do that with an amendment to the motion on first reading?
I think there was only one reading on this because it wasn't an ordinance. So what we have is a motion to reconsider, which needs to be seconded. And if passed by a majority of the members present, a simple majority,
so that would just
opens the matter back up for discussion.
Oh, so basically we need to have this motion, which just sort of gets rid
to the
of
next
the old, and so we don't need a presentation for that.
No, you would vote on this motion to reconsider. If it passes, the council could decide to, allow Mr. Gore to make a presentation and, ask him questions. And then if someone on the council wanted to propose a different motion with respect to this matter, they could do so, and that would need to be seconded, and the vote would,
Got it.
determine the outcome. Now, if the majority votes for the motion, whatever the motion is, that is what's going to be, if it passes, is going to be the outcome and will replace what happened on June 4th. Now, if the motion, the substantive motion fails, then the June 4th action remains intact.
Okay, we have a motion to reconsider from Mr. Martin. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion is second. Call the roll.
Vice Mayor Skels Harris.
Aye.
Mr. LaVance.
Aye.
Mr. Martin.
Aye.
Mr. Shacklet.
Aye.
Mr. Smotherman.
Aye.
Mr. Wade.
Aye.
Now,
For parliamentary procedure, and I'm not big on Robert's rules, but I think that the motion would have to be made and seconded by someone who voted in favor of the motion. I don't think anybody who voted against it would be allowed to make a motion or second.
Is that right, Adam?
That's probably correct. So that it probably should have been seconded by.
Robert's Rules drops a second after a vote anyway, so it doesn't really matter. It's really the motion that matters. And I forgot who made the motion. Ronnie did.
Once you
Okay.
voted against it last time were Eddie and Kurt and the mayor.
So the motion was proper, and then the second becomes Robert's Rules just drops it after the vote. Doesn't really, even if there's no
The motion was
a vote.
The motion was proper.
Right.
so we're good where we are. Okay,
Good where we are.
let's, we're at a place of reconsidering that. Are there any questions, or would we like to hear from Mr. Gore what the reasons for reconsideration are, or?
I'd say just make the motion.
Yeah, so I'll just give a little bit of explanation, be real brief. Part of part of what I did not make clear is it was not my intent to create an opportunity for people that did not have projects in the works to be able to create kind of a rush to be able to get in under what we were trying to do. So the new motion that I would make is that we do not allow a grandfathering period, and we accept the recommendation that staff made originally.
Okay, does everyone understand the motion?
Has anyone applied or anything, or has anything changed since the vote?
The memos, we did go back and we found one project where the developer had been advised that he was only going to be allowed the lower density. One had a PRD has been approved as of last July, so they're actually approved as is. And then there was a due diligence meeting set up for a rezoning of a property on Dill Lane at the end of this month, but I would not consider. They would have to abide by the new density restrictions. So those are the only three things that I found out differently than, or I didn't communicate on June 4th.
Okay, any questions concerning this motion? Have the motion? We got a second?
Second.
Motion is second. Call the roll.
Vice Mayor Skels Harris.
Aye.
Mr. LaLance.
No.
Mr. Martin.
Aye.
Mr. Shacklet.
Aye.
Mr. Smotherman.
Aye.
Mr. Way.
Aye.
All right, licensing, do we have licensing?
We don't have any today.
Payment of statements, do we have any of that? Any other business?
Other business.
All right, any comments or questions from the council? We did this without our mayor.
Seemed to run pretty smooth.
Hey!
Not questioning anything.
We're out at 11:55.
All right, meeting's adjourned.